I can't wait to show you this beach tumbler. These tumblers are perfect for any person who loves summer, the beach, or they're super fun for custom vacation tumblers. I am using a glitter and paint set on this tutorial that you can get on my website. I will link it down below. I'm using a 20-ounce skinny straight from Craft Haven, and my decal is from Lettered by Stephanie. Again, everything is linked underneath this video. I'm gonna walk you through each one of the steps. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I did was mix up my base paints. I'm starting with Universal White and using the CrystaLac pigments to make a kind of a tan color as well as a blue color. I also want to note that I already prepped and base coated my tumbler with the Universal Gray. It helps get full coverage with your paints. So you can see here I have a white cup, and I'm going to go in with my blush brushes to apply my paints. I'm going to start with the tan color, and I will say you'll see how the cup turns out. I would do more of that and use more of the gold glitter for the tumbler next time, but it still turned out really, really great. So then I brushed on the blue, and I wasn't worried about blending quite yet. I just kind of got the paints set. And then I went in and blended where those two meet. The blush brush from CrystaLac or from the Dollar Tree help really, really well with the blending of paints. I'm going to go ahead and link a video in the top right corner that kind of breaks down how to blend your paints, but it really just takes practice and going in with each brush to get those paints to look good where they meet. It doesn't have to be exact, especially because I am going to be covering this with glitter, but it would make a really fun non-glitter beach tumbler, so you can keep that in mind with these paints. So I let this dry for 4 hours, and then I'm going to go in with my glitters. I'm using 4 different glitters from my website, 3 bluish green colors, and a gold to create this look. I am using Bright Tone to apply my glitter. You can use glitter glue or Grand Finale, whatever you have available. I like to brush it on to get good coverage, and then I will actually apply my glitter. I started with the bottom and the gold, and I went all the way down the bottom to get full coverage. And I like to use the tilt method to get my glitter to fade into each one. It just works best for me, but you could also apply your glitter while your cup is spinning. I started with the gold so I could get full coverage all around the bottom. This one's called Golden Sand. And then I went in with this is Seafoam. It's kind of a greenish color. And I went through and made a line where I want it to have full coverage. Then I tilted the cup towards the gold and then tilted the top down so it could kind of fade and fall in both directions. Then I went in with Ocean Breeze and did the same thing. You can see I made a full line of where I wanted full coverage, and then I started tilting the cup in both directions to get those colors to fade. Now, it's a lot easier to ombre and fade your glitter when they are all similar colors. This one is a more true blue that is called Lagoon. It is one of my absolute favorites, and because they're all similar colors and tones, they do blend really, really nicely. I'm just going in with a few extra little spots of glitter to make sure I have full coverage and it is blended the way I like. If it's not, you can let this dry completely and do another coat. I actually really liked the coverage on this one, but because I used Bright Tone to apply the glitter, I let it dry for 4 hours. Just make sure you let dry whatever time your adhesive needs. Once you let that dry completely, we can go through the process of sealing our glitter and getting it smooth. So I always start with a dry brush to get off any excess glitter. And you'll see that I sort of did the gold by itself. I got off any glitter from my brush, and then I brushed the blues away from the gold to try to get as little contamination as possible. I wanted this gold to not be sort of making its way up the cup. So I did the same thing when I was sealing with my glitter glue. I started with the gold, and then I went in for the blues and greens. It's okay if these sort of mix and intermingle because you really can't tell, but I didn't want any, major gold glitter to make its way up the cup. Once I sealed it, let it dry, I went in with my Grand Finale. I went through the process of applying my coats of Grand Finale and sanding until I got that smooth surface. If you want a breakdown of the step-by-step how to get this cup smooth, I'm going to link a beginner tutorial in the top right corner. But basically, you're going to do your coats of Grand Finale and sand and continue that process until your cup is completely smooth. You really do want it to be fully smooth before you go in with the waves. You really don't want it to kind of look lumpy when you start this process. So I am using the CrystaLac inks to make my waves, and it worked so great. So first, I'm going to start with a coat of Grand Finale. A normal coat, it doesn't have to be super thin, just a normal coat of Grand Finale. And then I'm going to apply my inks. In order to mix these up, I started with the white CrystaLac ink and mixed it in with my Grand Finale. You don't need a whole lot of inks. And then I also used the blending solution that comes with when you buy the inks to help with the movement. So once you get it all mixed together, I recommend doing it before you apply your coat of Grand Finale because it dries so fast. I'm just taking a popsicle stick and applying these inks where this sea foam glitter meets the gold, which to me is where the waves meet the sand, right? From the ocean to the sand, and creates that white in the water. So I wanted it to look realistic. And be pretty natural to what an actual beach looks like. Now, how it works out for you, how you like it, the look you're going for really is personal preference. You can make your white ink sort of as bold as you want it, right? Like this, it is very white and very pigmented, or you can soften it up a little bit, which is what I wanted because I like a realistic look when I'm making a tumbler like this. So like I said earlier in this video, I do kind of wish I brought the gold up a little bit more to almost that like maybe almost halfway mark, maybe like a third of the way up there, because I think that would have looked really good. So I took a straw and started blowing out that ink to get it to spread. And you can see that even just doing this softens it up a little bit. So you can play with it. You can actually take your cup off your turner, start tilting it up and down if you wanted to get movement that way as well. As I was doing this, I was thinking, you know what, I would like a little bit more movement and maybe even a little softer. So what I did was grab that blending solution and I just did a very few drops, like really light drops in a couple different places just to allow that ink to spread a little bit more and move a little bit more when I used my straw. So just play with this and keep working it until you are happy with how it looks. If you put it on and you hate it, you can absolutely rinse it off and try again. This is actually my second go for this particular tumbler. But I just really liked how it turned out, and it will continue to move a little bit as it dries while it is spinning. Once it was dry, I was able to let this dry for 4 hours and move on with the decal. So I got this image, this SVG from Lettered by Stephanie and her SVG club. It says, "Leave me at the beach." And I really wanted to do something different than the traditional just white decals that you see on these tumblers, so I decided to go with this silver. But I cut it with my silhouette, I weeded it, and got it all ready to get onto my tumbler. And once I did that, I kind of realized that I didn't love the look of just the silver, so I actually went in and cut another part of this decal. I created an offset in white. So if you need help figuring out how to make an offset, I have a video in the top right corner using Silhouette Studio. So I ended up doing the silver on the inside and white on the outside to help it pop on the tumbler. After my decal was on, I did several coats of Grand Finale, 3 or 4 coats of Grand Finale, and then I did a sand over just the decal, and I continued to apply my Grand Finale so I could get a nice smooth surface. Remember that you're just going to apply and sand that process until you get your cup where you like it. There's no set rules. You're just going to keep going until it is shiny and smooth and you are happy with how it looks. Go through the steps of finishing up your tumbler and then you are ready to use it. If you want to see a ink demo, how to use the CrystaLac inks in other ways, make sure you click the video on your screen where I break down the process of using the CrystaLac inks.